Hey everybody, DJ Rob the Mill Guy here with another YouTube video. This will be a Rock and Melzone musical rant number 3 for everyone to enjoy. Sitting beside me we have Yuvraj, the Master Sing, and let's get right into this topic.
Yes,
Rolling Stones 100 guitarists. Not is it just the 100 guitarists?
100 greatest
This is the
guitarists
100
of all time.
greatest guitarists, as Yuvraj just said, of all time.
Published in 2011.
This came out 2011. And they also, again, this issue has, it's a special issue, of course, you know, Rolling Stone, has Eddie Van Halen on the front cover. I believe you could get Jimi Hendrix. Jimmy Page, I believe, is on one. And I think the guys in the top 10 might be on there. I know the Jimi Hendrix.
Chuck Berry should be on one. Jeff Beck should be on one.
I've seen the Jimi Hendrix one I saw. This one my mom got for me because I am a huge Eddie Van Halen fan. Eddie Van Halen is definitely one of my favorite guitar players. Guy who, huge influence on my own playing. But overall, I personally don't like Rolling Stone. I think they suck when it comes to actually judging and realizing talent and even portraying the people that are great and their interpretation of greatness. Yuvraj, let's get into this here. The 100 greatest guitarists, as said by Rolling Stone. Now let's quickly bring up the criteria here. This was supposedly here. They have voters. They had some voters here. You have Brian Bell from Weezer, Richie Blackmore, supposedly from Deep Purple, was a voter.
Tom Morello's a voter.
Yes, Tom Morello, who's ironically on this list, is a voter.
Yep, number 40.
And then you have Don Felder from the Eagles, Warren Haynes, the Allman Brothers. You have Tom DeLonge from Blink-182. I'm not seeing Yngwie Malmsteen. I'm not seeing Eddie Van Halen. I'm not seeing Joe Satriani, which I find very disturbing. I see Alex Lifeson from Rush, who I'm a huge fan of Rush, my #1 favorite band of all time. Robbie Krieger from The Doors. You have Nancy Wilson from Hard, Joe Walsh. Oh, Eddie Van Halen is on here, excuse me. I will rescind. Unlike Rolling Stone, I admit when I'm wrong and I make a mistake. Vernon Reid from Living Colour. Now my problem is, were these voters actually deciding everything, or did they just maybe cast some ballots and decide?
Actually, it seems like they're asking famous guitarists themselves who they think is the best. I mean, shouldn't they ask the fans?
That's a theme that I think we'll be bringing up a lot in this video, and we will really be hammering, about this whole list. Why is it not the fans that get to decide? Because when you're focusing on a specific group, and you're also controlling it, such as Rolling Stone is, it really is disingenuous to a lot of great guitar players. Right away, #1 is Jimi Hendrix.
Of course.
You say of course. I do agree with this just because Jimi Hendrix was the first raw, very creative. He had the virtuosic qualities, and he influenced a huge slew of hard rock, metal, and just rock and roll music guitar players. As a guitarist, definitely had talent in the distortion and all that. Yeah, I'll give it to him. But you kind of feel that maybe is it something that you're against? That's different.
I might say, I mean, sure, Jimi Hendrix, great guitarist, but does he have the discography to back it up? I mean, does he have enough albums, enough time spent playing music to be called the greatest guitar player of all time? I mean, you have guys that put in 30, 40 years worth of effort on this list.
Jimmy Page is that's a guy who I'm shocked did not. Again, to me, Jimmy Page was a great creator of songs when it came to guitar playing, and he also had talent that, again, it was at a time when not many guitar players were playing that type of music. And Jeff Beck, even, I feel, was a guy who was creating sounds, and I felt was kind of snubbed. Keith Richards is a good guitar player, but no way is he as, innovative as Jeff Beck. Jeff Beck's style can be jazz, it can be blues. Jeff Beck can just push different boundaries and create. His tone is so unique and distinctive. For Keith Richards, I just feel he's more known for the fact that he's in the Rolling Stones, he drinks a lot, and he cusses, and he's a dirty old man.
Right.
That's what I feel. And do you get that feeling too with this, some of the guys on this list are...
Looking at the list, you'll notice that a lot of them are from the 60s and 70s era. I mean, and you don't really have many metal guitars on there.
That is my biggest pet peeve, my biggest problem with this list was the lack of representation for the male community. Prince number 33, let's already begin there. Prince is a guitar player. I think he's just, again, it's the songs. He was on MTV.
Right.
You know, girls go crazy for him, but nowadays I'm sure that, you know, he's older and there's a difference. But, you know, overall, Prince is a great guitar player. It's to me disgusting when...
And number 40, Tom Morello.
Randy Rhoads is not as good as Prince. Randy Rhoads is number 36. I felt Randy Rhoads should have been up here higher. And again, it goes back with Jimi Hendrix. He may have not had the long discography, but what Randy Rhoads did on those 2 albums with Ozzy is undeniably some of the greatest guitar playing ever. You listen to Diary of a Madman, you listen to Blizzard of Oz, Crazy Train. That guitar riff sticks in your head. How many people, you know, when they're young guitar players ask their guitar teacher, teach me When Doves Cry by Prince?
Right. None.
So, to me, that was a big one that I really had a problem with. And I know...
No, Randy Rhoads is a great guitarist. I mean, one of my favorite songs, one of my favorite live songs, Paranoid, with Randy Rhoads playing. Great song. I mean, just when it starts, just when it begins, I mean, he's killing it.
Yeah, he took a Sabbath song, but he made it his own style, which is cool. I know you've always said that before you request on my show, because you say there's something special about his playing in that song. And that to me was like, why was he not up a little higher? Johnny Ramone, okay, the father of punk rock. Unfortunately, Johnny Ramone just did not, when it came to greatness and inspiration compared to a guy like Randy Rhoads, I think Johnny Ramone's going to be behind him. So I really have to question and bring up, I don't think that was maybe a good decision. Or the voters, again, these voters, I felt that maybe they missed something there. But again, who knows? For all we know, people in Rolling Stone decide this list. Do you get that feeling? Because the one I'm going to bring up, what do you think about Tom Morello being number 40?
Tom Morello is number 40. Alex Lifeson is number 98.
Dimebag Darrell also
92.
Dimebag Darrell's number 92 is probably the one that really upset us the most. Well, upset me the most. To me, it's flabbergasting that Dimebag Darrell, a guy that...
Well, the guy's a great guitar player.
His tone, his style, everything. He made metal just heavier sounding back in that period when metal was kind of getting forgotten. You know, people... It's funny is you have Kurt Cobain here is on this list. At number 73, he beats Dimebag Darrell out. And they try to justify it as that Kurt Cobain, he may not have been a virtuoso, but he gave guitar playing back to the common person. Well, Dimebag Darrell inspired young guys to pretty much go out, have fun, play in a metal band, and also Dimebag Darrell brought that sense of brilliance when it came to guitar playing. You listen to Cemetery Gates, right? That solo. I mean, what can you say about that solo? It's so damn great.
The guy's just a great guitar player overall.
And I bring up maybe Rolling Stone again. They have this love of Kurt Cobain, and then Jack White.
Because when Nevermind first came out, they disliked Nirvana.
That's a really...
Well, they didn't change their opinion until after Kurt Cobain died. Same thing with the Beatles.
That's a great point I really bring up. Again, I can't believe Dimebag Darrell was number 92. And then James Hetfield from Metallica is number 87. Yet you do not have Dave Mustaine from Megadeth. Dave Mustaine is a fiery player.
Dave Mustaine isn't on the list at all.
He is not on the list at all.
That is an extreme oversight.
Oh, again, Lou Reed is number 81. He's better than James Hetfield and Dimebag Darrell. Lou Reed is better. He's a better guitar player than Dimebag Darrell. And James Hetfield, again, is a rhythm guitar player. Kirk Hammett, when it comes to Metallica, is a great guitar player. But again, Dimebag Darrell, the solos, the ability to make the guitar create noises. Lou Reed, he just makes random noises, and he's known for his songs. He's not known for his guitar playing abilities, I feel. That was a problem. Did you see that where there was a lot of people, they're great artists. Like with Tom Morello, he creates great songs and these political songs. But is he in his own right a great guitar player?
I don't believe so. I mean, and some of the people that he beat, I mean, they definitely overshadowed the guy. I mean, if they want to have him on the list, number 40 is just way too high.
Alex Lifeson, number 98. As I said before, I'm a huge Rush fan. Alex Lifeson was creating very complex, his phrasing, his soloing, the riffs he came up with were hard rock mixed with progressive. There were very few guitar players doing what Alex Lifeson did. You listen to La Villa Strangiato, what he did, and I will give Rolling Stone credit here, they did put that as one of his key tracks, but they forgot 2112. That song is one of the greatest examples of diverse guitar talent. What more can I say?
No, the guy should have definitely been higher up on the list. I mean, top 10 for sure.
And as I've said before, it's interesting as you have a lot of these. They do this.
I mean, personally, in the top 10, the one that I really do agree with is Jimmy Page.
I do agree with Jimmy
number
Page.
3, I think that is well deserved, and I think that is a definite sure there.
I agree with Tony Iommi's number
25, I believe.
Yeah, let me see. He's number 25. Unfortunately, I would have put Tony Iommi a little higher. Angus Young's a great guitar player, but Tony Iommi to me just has the riffs. He's the better. I gotta be honest. I feel like he has the heavier riffs.
Right.
He invented heavy metal, and again, for some reason, Rolling Stone has this problem with heavy metal.
Right.
And I can't understand
just
it.
leaving Dave Mustaine off there. Buzz Osborne isn't on there.
That's a very good one.
Buzz Osborne.
Let's get into the guitar players that we felt should have been on there, as you brought up Buzz Osborne.
Right.
If you put Kurt Cobain on there, I just feel out of, who influenced who. Kurt Cobain was influenced by Buzz Osborne, and they even stated in this magazine, which I find hilarious, but you don't have Buzz Osborne on the list.
Well, why don't you have him on the list? I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, whatever list Kurt Cobain is on, Buzz Osborne should not only be on it, but he should be higher.
But they will use this excuse, oh, the voters, it was these people. Again, I have the hardest time believing that. And at the end of the day, how about this? Let the fans decide.
There you go.
That's what should be ultimately the decision, because I feel, let's see what people have to bring up. And my biggest problem, I have a couple big problems.
You're saying that these people are the greatest of all time, yet you're only having a few people decide. I mean, and it's extremely biased towards a certain era of music.
Well, I have something, like I said kind of earlier, I have some big problems. Here's one, it's not big, but this one I feel ties into a lot of what we've been talking about. They justify by saying, well, greatest guitar player doesn't mean that you have all this talent, that you were amazing and brilliant, you did things that were just so innovative. No, they said that you inspired, you brought something that was different. Like Kurt Cobain, that's what makes him so great, was he wasn't a great guitar player. That he was able to play these guitar riffs that were unique and in a way bring the guitar back to the freaks and poets. And create a whole bunch of these grungy indie rock bands that in the end all just suck.
Start up a different list. I mean, this is the 100 greatest guitar players of all time.
Yeah,
it should just be based off of talent. Talent alone.
Let's have a list, Rolling Stone. The greatest guitar players that were influential, not the greatest guitar players. That's the problem, is when you put a statement like this, of all time.
Yes, it's of all time. I mean, from now until when the guitar was first invented.
Yeah, that's why you do have a lot of guys like Chuck Berry. You have Muddy Waters, the old, 50s, and the blues players. Those guys do deserve to be on here. But let's not forget the great guitar players that have come after. And my Rolling Stone, why did you blatantly ignore shredders? Marty Friedman from Megadeth. Yngwie Malmsteen. I mean, come on. You've listened to Yngwie.
I have, yeah.
The guy's doing things that are unbelievable. His speed, his technical talent.
I mean, he is considered to be one of the greatest guitar players of all time.
And it was so blatantly that they ignored Yngwie. I feel like it was like they did it, and that's where they hold that, he wasn't a virtuoso, Kurt Cobain, but he was still great to us. It's like they pretty much slap Yngwie in the face.
Right.
But to me, it's disrespectful because there's no denying that Yngwie is an amazing guitar player. Joe Satriani, what he, as a guitar player, influenced Kirk Hammett, Alex Skolnick. He was their teacher, for God's sakes. How do you forget Joe Satriani? How do you forget Steve Vai?
No, they definitely have some notable I think actually most of the list is a miss.
And here, I'll even, Rolling Stone, if you want to say that I'm just mentioning metal guitar players, here's a rock and roll guitar player, Steve Miller. This is Book of Dreams, my vinyl I have here. Steve Miller, a great guitar player. You want to talk about great songs? Jet Airliner, The Joker, Fly Like an Eagle is used in tons of commercials. The guy's amazing. How is he not on this list? Steve Miller, for God's sakes, in the 70s, had some great songs, and his guitar playing was brilliant.
Right.
I just can't understand it. What do you, come on, Yuvraj, what do you really feel they missed here? What's going on?
Like I said, I mean, it's biased toward a certain era of music, 20 years, 60s, 70s, and it's extremely biased towards rock. I mean, they completely miss metal listings. Sure, they have a few players. They have Dimebag Darrell on there. They have Kirk Hammett on there. Yet, no Buzz Osborne, no Dave Mustaine. I mean,
no Yngwie.
No Yngwie. There are some really important misses on the list.
And here's the one that I believe this. Yuvraj knows it. They were the first ever rock metal band that I got really into when I was young. I had a CD. My first heavy music CD I got, Kiss, right here, and the guitar player that they ignored and upset me so much here. And I'm going to go on a little rant tirade here, Yuvraj.
Let me guess, Ace Frehley.
Ace Frehley. I mean, Eddie Van Halen's on here. I feel like, I don't want to throw this with disrespect, but Rolling Stone. Are you kidding me? Ace Frehley was not on the list. I'm sure they're going to say that, oh, Kiss were a bunch of clowns, they were a joke. No, no, no. You listen to Kiss songs. Ace had fiery leads. Ace was creating sounds in a style that would influence Dimebag Darrell. So many guitar players will say that Ace Frehley was an influence. His aggression. And the thing is, he just attacked. You listen to a Kiss song like Going Blind.
Right.
The guitar solo is a song within a song. It's pretty much standing out. Ace Frehley, he played with such a fierce style, but at the same time, he was doing things, and he was also a showman. Right. And it didn't take away from the music. I get this a lot from people that, oh, the rockets on the guitar took away. No, he was making guitar exciting. That's what rock and roll is about, and great guitar players. He made music exciting. You listen to Detroit Rock City, that guitar riff is stuck in your head. Everything about it. Are you kidding me, Rolling Stone, you stupid hippies?
That is what they are.
They are, and again, you know what it is? Kiss got disrespect from a lot of these critics back in the day, and I know why. Yes, they wore the makeup, and it was probably, oh, they're a gimmick and they're outrageous. No, they were playing fierce, groovy, hard rock music, which these Rolling Stone, peace-loving, anti-war, kumbaya, flowers in our hair, acoustic-loving, these people didn't like it. And it's disrespectful because they ignore great music. I will admit, hey, there's some great guitar players that came from the 60s. Jimi Hendrix, #1, yeah, I agree. But when you just ignore guys like Ace Frehley that were so influential,
right,
it angers me.
Right.
Because I can name you numerous fans. I mean, Dimebag Darrell had a tattoo of Ace Frehley on his chest. If Dimebag Darrell was to see this list and not realize that Ace Frehley was not on there, I'm pretty sure Dimebag Darrell would be with us denouncing Rolling Stone. Because, it's so disrespectful, I feel, to a guy that was so creative. And, Ace, he's gone up and down in his career, but at the end of the day, the guy is one of the greatest rock and roll guitar players of all time, and no one can take that away from Ace Frehley.
Right. And like I said, overall, there are very few things
I had to get that
on the list that I agree with. Jimmy Page is really the only one that stands out to me that I do agree with, #3. Slash, number 65. And Leslie West, he's number 66. I feel that he should have been higher up on the list. Slash
being ignored to me is, or not ignored, but being put way back on the list is,
right,
again, okay, but are, certain guitar players better than Slash? I have a hard time believing it, but at the end of the day, it's like with the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
It's not chosen by the fans.
It's not chosen by the fans, and that's the biggest problem, Rolling Stone.
That's the problem that I feel with a lot of these award things. The Oscars, not chosen by the fans, chosen by people in the industry. And you can see some notable misses.
And you want to realize something? The people in the industry that don't, have the power and now have, are deciding who wins and who's not, they were the ones that were critics.
Right.
So those people, if they don't like something, it's like with the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. There was a critic of Rush who got in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. No wonder Rush had a hard time getting in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Right.
No wonder Kiss probably has a hard time getting in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame because, like I said, for some reason, Kiss gets this black mark. I've noticed it from these 70s fogies that think that, oh, they're just a joke. Kiss has been going for a long time. Say what you want. You have to give Kiss the respect at the end of the day because that band has worked so hard. And the fans, you want to talk about really loyal and dedicated fans, the Kiss Army, come on, people.
Right.
Just stop trying to put us down. And it's ridiculous.
Hand the power back to the fans. I mean,
that's what it's about because the fans,
right.
They're the ones that care. They're the ones that made these artists and recognize these great guitar players. I'll give some shout outs here. Same bias, Dave Chandler's an amazing guitar player. Scott Weinrich, we saw him. He can play the electric, the acoustic, it's emotion.
No, the guy's great.
Again, there's so many great guitar players. It's the fans, though, at the end of the day that you really have to be considerate about. And that's what I think Rolling Stone is not. They are not considerate about the fans. They're in their own little bubble, their own little elitist world.
No, let's be honest, I mean, Rolling Stone, they only survive because they sadly do have fans that keep them up.
And again, I cannot understand why people would believe this is the great, a great music magazine. I don't see it as that way. I see, Revolver's great. I see even, if you go on the internet, there's websites that are great. Metal Sucks. I mean, we could say our website, but,
Our website possibly is the greatest, though.
www.rockandmelzo.com.
There you go.
Yeah, we'll put a shameless plug in. We're like Kiss. We're working hard to, get our name out there. But at the end of the day, it's the fans that are important. In this list,
overall, I'd say it's 99% miss with the 1% hit of Jimmy Page.
I like that you do the 1%, 99% diss on Rolling Stone because they always talk about the 1%, the 99%.
Chelsea Scott are probably millionaires.
Exactly. So Rolling Stone, I'm sorry, that list was horrible. And if you can correct it, that would be interesting to see. Let's see your response.
Your opinion. I mean, we each have our own opinion on who should be on the list, who shouldn't be on the list, and you guys have yours. I mean, tell us who you think should be on it, who shouldn't be on it, what places you would move. I mean,
put the comments below and let us see this because that's what we want, the fans engaging.
Right.
Not people sitting in high places listening to Kumbaya and thinking that we rule the world or something. No.
Right.
It's the fans that are the most important people. That's what we do. So thank you for everybody for watching this video. Thank you for putting up with my passionate Kiss fan side. As you can see, I am a Kiss fan.
Yep.
I don't deny it. I love Kiss. And Yuvraj, yes, that's it.
Yeah, signing off.
Okay, later everybody.